What is going on, YouTube? Deezo here, and welcome back to a brand new video. Today we are going to be talking about how to set up a realistic franchise. Now this is going to go in depth into the sliders and the setup I am using for my franchise here on YouTube. Please feel free to take whatever you would like from this video, apply it to your own franchise if you are starting one. But we're going to go over rosters, we're going to go over sliders, we're going to go over settings and profiles, as well as jumping into a franchise with manual injury settings on, so we can control literally everything that goes on within our franchise to give us the best experience possible. So let's go ahead and jump right in to grabbing our rosters. All right, so this is a huge one. Obviously Ryden's rosters were released over the weekend. This is a good time to jump in there. We're gonna search by online ID to find Ryden's rosters. Now if you have already done this, you can go ahead and skip forward, but if you had not, all you have to do is search RidinRoster here. Go ahead and hit square. Up over 8,000 downloads, 98.35 rating. Go ahead and download these. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to load a saved roster. Now this is the exact roster that I downloaded on the 9th. This is the one I've been adding all of my equipment edits to. I just renamed it OSFM View 1 because it helps me separate the two. So now that I've loaded that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what you have to do before we even think about jumping into franchise mode. So what you're going to end up seeing is some guys over here, like Fernando Tatis is 112 power versus right. Obviously for franchise, you're not going to want that. So you want to go over here and you can drop this down to 99, or this is power versus right is 97. So maybe make this 98. Or adjust that as you see fit. That is going to be something you are going to have to do for a few guys in around the league. One guy in particular that I'm sure nobody's going to want to face in franchise is going to be Josh Hader, who has 116 hit per 9 and 106 K per 9. Yeah, that's going to be fun. So go through here. Once you download the roster, it is not quote unquote ready to go out of the box. There are a few things like that you're going to want to go through and just double check, like Scherzer's 103 hits per 9. It doesn't take you that long. I mean, somebody like boom, 105 power Pete Alonso. You can just go ahead and scroll through here. You're going to catch them. If you don't catch them here, you can always go and edit those in the in your franchise as well. It's not that difficult. One house rule I will put out there though is, say you wanted to edit let's see, okay, so Trey Turner has 110 contact versus left, right? And he obviously hits lefties very well. So let's go ahead and say we're going to bring this down to 99, right? It was over max, so we're going to bring it to max. But let's say we're going to drop this down even more, right? So his contact versus right is 76, and he does hit lefties better. So let's say we're going to drop this down to, we'll drop this down 4 to a 95. So I essentially think about this as more of a role-playing game type, or like theory, right? So you drop this 4, but let's go ahead and raise this 2, and then you can raise this one and this one. So you essentially had 4 points that you took off of something and you added them somewhere else. I allow myself to do this 1 time per player per off season. Okay, so if you are making edits to somebody in the off season, that is normally how I would do it. So what we're going to do now is we are going to jump into overall settings. Now I have 2 profiles that I will be using for franchise this year. Obviously my Deezo is going to be my main profile for the team I am going to be using. Because we are doing a 30 team full control, we are also going to need another setting called CPU. The biggest difference between these two, we will go over in 1 minute. Everything on my Deezo preset is going to be the same except for mode specific stuff, which we will again get into in a second. So let's take a look at batting and base running. I want to kind of throw it out there for you guys that for my YouTube channel and for the videos we are putting out, I'm running this franchise very specifically, and I want it to be very difficult. I don't want this to be an easy franchise for me. My Diamondbacks and my Reds, we made it into the postseason in year number 1. I wanted to up the difficulty a little bit, and I feel like going with Armor and Swords, not rosters, but Armor and Swords settings, we are going to be able to achieve that. This is going to be extremely difficult. It's going to be something I've never done before, and I'm really looking forward to it. But let's go ahead and jump into it. A lot of these things are stuff that I have normally on. Hitting difficulty, we're jumping up. I think last year we were on All-Star. Now we're jumping straight into Hall of Fame. Hitting view is going to be Fisheye 2. You can do Fisheye 1, Fisheye 2. I do this just because it makes it easier for everybody watching the videos to see who is up to bat, check out equipment, all that other fun stuff. In-play offense is going to be broadcast. In-play defense is going to be broadcast as well. Ball trail is going to be daytime only. I'm not sure you can actually turn that off anymore, or else I would. Hitting interface is going to be timing. I normally do directional, but I'm going to try timing and just kind of play with that and see how I enjoy it. PCI is going to be off, and then we're going to go over here to advanced. Guess pitch is going to be off. Base running decisions are going to be on assist. Base running interface is going to be on default. Sliding decisions, assist, and runner windows are going to be on. Now, Armor and Sword does tell you can turn this off. I'm going to keep it on for a little bit and see how I like it. It might stick out like a sore thumb, excuse me, but we're going to go ahead and run with it on for now. Pitching, Hall of Fame pitching, classic interface. Why are we doing that? Because we want everyone's attributes to matter more than my skill. Okay, I don't personally care how good I am with the meter or analog or anything else. I want to tell a story, and I want this to be about the guys in our franchise and their attributes and their growth, not my skill. Okay, I've been playing this game for a long time. I can literally use anybody and have a decent outing on meter pitching. Feedback is going to be off. Pitching view, broadcast. Ball marker is going to be classic fade, and that's just so I can get a roundabout idea of where the ball's going to be at. Pitch confidence is going to be off. I use this off because essentially if you are pitching with, say, Chris Sale, and his slider is not there, you should be able to tell as the pitcher that, hey, this slider is just not there. I'm not getting the calls. I'm just not feeling it. It's not working out. And you should just stay away from using that slider, right? That's essentially what we're going to be running with in the franchise. Pitch delay is going to be normal. Thought about going to faster because of the pitch clock idea, but I'm going to keep it on normal, and API is going to be on default. And since we're on Hall of Fame, it's essentially going to be off anyway. Fielding, button interface doesn't really matter. Throwing meter is going to be off. Throwing decision is going to be on auto, and the fielding decision is going to be on auto, and throwing is going to be on auto as well. Again, this is going to make the overall attributes of our players matter, not necessarily how good we are. In-play defense, broadcast, as we talked about before. I believe because we are on on auto everything, that this stuff doesn't matter. Defensive shift is going to be on auto as well until next season, and I believe we can change that once we start the next year. General, all right. Simulation, fielding aids are going to be off. Player display names, I will keep those on, but strike zones and hot zones are going to be turned off. You can still view this information in the pause menu if you need to. I tend to look at it once or twice a game and then be done, and just kind of try to remember where all that stuff was at. Warm up relievers, I'm going to leave this off. They were warming up the bullpen. I don't really need to waste time trying to get YouTube videos out by throwing pitches with the relievers. All of this doesn't really matter. Tutorial tips are going to be off. And if you are running a Twitch or a YouTube franchise, remember to turn post-game autosave off. It's going to save you a lot of headache. Now we're going to go to advanced, and this is where everybody gets messed up when it comes to injuries. Scoreboard display is going to be on. Pitch select display is going to be off. Swing info off. Pitch info off. Box off. Umpire accuracy is going to be personalized. Close plays is going to be on, and check swing appeals are going to be on. Yeah, this gives me Angel Hernandez vibes, so we're gonna have to be dealing with that all season. Injuries are going to be set to manual, not on, not off. Okay, injuries are going to be set here as manual. Ejections are going to be on, vibration I'm taking off, and game log order is going to be chronological. So we'll back out of those. Presentations. Presentation is going to be broadcast. You can see no pitch select cameras. Batter walk-ups are on. In-game ticker is going to be on. Custom, no commentary. Music volume is going to be low. Continuous music is off. Defensive music, I will leave that on for now. I normally take that music out anyway. And then we'll go to mode specific. Now, all of this stuff doesn't really matter to us so much. Some of the fielding player lock stuff, because we are going to be playing with critical situations on, just to get some additional info on some of our guys. The player lock stuff might matter, but it's all pretty much what I use anyway. So you guys can take a look at that. Showtime opportunities are going to be off. Button mapping is going to be classic. Opportunities will be some. Base running interface is going to be analog, which I believe is the superior way to do it. Player lock base running opportunities. Action pitches only. Player lock yells. Yeah, sure. Critical situations are going to be on. And everything is going to be set to manual. You can set scouting to auto. It really doesn't matter. If you're not going to remember to check it all the time, set it to auto, and you will fare a lot better, trust me. So we'll back out of all of that. We will back out of here, apply those changes, go back into here, go back into settings. We're going to go to CPU. Now, all of these settings really don't matter. What we are looking at is going to go down here. So our lineups, 40-man, and roster moves are going to be under manual. Injury management is going to be manual as well. Why is that? Well, when we go in and set this up, we want to be able to control the lineups, rotations, 40-mans, and the roster moves themselves, as well as essentially the trades, right? So we can go ahead and manually adjust any of the trades that are going on. Injuries, like I said before, we're going to want to make sure that we can move. Like Chris Sale is going to be on the injured list. He is going to be out. Probably I'll have him out for like 60 days to get started. And if we start now, that's not necessarily going to happen. So we'll go ahead and we'll put all of this stuff to the test. We were going to jump into a franchise now. We are going to start new. We are going to load saved rosters, and we can load our OSFM V1, which remember is essentially the same exact ones, but with the edits to equipment. I've gone through my entire division and edited equipment. I'm working on the other divisions now. And let's go ahead and do the Giants. Okay, so we're going to start off as the Giants, and we're going to go all of these. We're going to hit square, and then we're going to turn all of the other teams to the CPU profile. All right, and so that gives us full control of our team, and then only the partial team or partial control of the other teams that we really need, right? Just make sure that these are all on CPU except for my Giants. Cool. All right, so we're going to go in here. I leave all of this stuff as is. and we will go in and manual this fun stuff and jump in, and we are going to start at spring training. Okay, so when you start at spring training, what you're going to be able to do is get out of here. That is bugging me. You're able to go to your injured list, right? And you're going to be able to go over here and manage injuries. And we are not the Orioles. We are not any of these teams, but we can literally put these guys on whatever kind of injury management that we want. Okay. So let's say John Means is injured, right? John Means went out with Tommy John. So we can go over here and we can say that he is going to be out with, I'm pretty sure they're not elbow surgery. That'll work, right? So elbow surgery, 350 days, right? Or 250 days. That sounds about right. And then you can go over here. He's going to be sitting on the bench, and then you just go move to 60-day DL, and boom, John Means is going to be out in your franchise. You can go through what I'm doing currently right now on my own personal save is not only before I even started with this, and I should probably show you guys, go over to roster control, and what you're able to do in roster control is you're able to go through and set up pitching rotations for everybody. So like John Means, we know we're going to put him on the IL. So what you can actually do is go to player movement, or not player movement, excuse me, go to roster management, and then go over here to John Means, and we're going to drop him down to Class A. All right, so we're going to drop him down to Class A, and then we're going to make, whatever corresponding move that you need to. I think Spencer Watkins is on the 40-man, and Spencer Watkins, I believe, is pitching in the rotation. So now that you've done that, you can go through here and go to pitching rotations, and I believe Keegan is in there, right? I think it's something similar to this. Where's Wells? I think Tyler Wells is not the closer. Yeah, so as you can see, you're gonna have to go in and make some adjustments to what is going on with these rosters. I'm not exactly sure why they're being all crazy. Oh. Rosters. Saved rosters. All right, now before we jump into a franchise, what we have to do is we have to jump into roster control one more time. Go through all of this and just double check your lineups for, whatever team you're going to be using. I go through and just double check and make sure everybody has a very good and consistent lineup across the entire league. Okay, so once you're done with that, you can go ahead and save your roster. I've already saved this roster. So what we're going to do is we are going to jump into a brand new save. We are going to load in with our OSFM V1 rosters. All right, and then we can go ahead and say that we're going to be all of the teams. We're going to do full 30 team control. And how we do that is we're going to press X to select all. And then this is where that other profile comes into use. So we are going to just run all of these other teams as CPU. Remember, this is going to give us full control of our team. In this test case, it's going to be the San Francisco Giants, but everyone else is going to be on CPU, but we still have control over whether or not they what injuries they have and their 40-mans and all that kind of fun stuff. So we're going to go over here, and all of this is to manual, and we're going to start on spring training. Now, once we get here, we can wait for this stupid little screen thing to move, and let's go over to injured list. All right, so we're on the injured list, and let's go hit R1. We can manage injuries now. All right, so that is huge. That is exactly what we want. Now, what I'm in the middle of doing is going through my 40 mans for all of my teams. Once I am done with that, I'm going to come in here into my franchise itself, and then I am going to be setting everybody up. If somebody was injured in spring training, I'm going to put them as injured right now. If they were injured in the second week of the season, I am not putting them as injured because it doesn't make any sense. A couple guys like John Means, it would make sense for us to go ahead because he did sustain the injury in spring training. He just wasn't put into TJ until after, right? So he didn't have TJ until after the season started, I believe. So we're going to go ahead and drop John Means in there. Elbow surgery. He's going to be out 6+ months, 60 days, yada, yada, yada. We can do the same thing for Chris Sale. I don't know if rib is actually something we can do. I don't think rib is actually anything we can do. Let's see. Just double check. Broken hand, broken ligaments, nails, wrist, finger, torn pec, strained oblique. 5 days, that's not going to be it. Abdominal strain, 5 days, that's not it. Bruised ribs, 5 days, that's not it. Inflamed hip, nope. Bruised hip, nope, that's not going to be it. Fractured leg, yeah. So I mean, you could just kind of play with it. Torn pectoral, I mean, good enough, right? Kind of, we get the idea, but we're going to put him on a 60-day DL. You can go over here, drop him down into the 60-day injured list, and then there you go. That's pretty much how you get that knocked out. Now, one thing you can do is just jump in here, go to your settings, and these are going to be our settings. I did forget to mention I set these up outside, and then I also set them up inside. If it doesn't transfer over, and then just make sure you save everything. I will leave a link to these down in the description box below, but these are armor and sword settings. We are very close, guys, to getting the franchise started, and that is essentially how we're going to get everything knocked out for us, right? So really looking forward to getting everything started and getting this franchise underway. I have not launched, or I have not released my franchise video just yet. That is coming, and we're going to be getting this thing set and underway. I want this to be the best and most realistic franchise we've ran on this channel, and it's going to be just a little bit different. If you've been following me on Twitter or in my Discord, you will know that I've been playing around with what we're going to be doing with the draft and how I'm going to be presenting a lot of this information to you guys. So I'm working hard. I want this to be fun. I want this to be a little bit different, a little bit more realistic than we've done in the past. So that's going to be it for today's video. If you enjoyed, hit this video with a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe for more MLB The Show 22 franchise content here on the channel. That's going to be it. Thank you guys all so much for watching. And as always, I'll catch you guys later.